big year for PJ Harvey, being played by Cuba Gooding Jr. in the hit miniseries The People vs. PJ Harvey, and of course putting out her new record, the Hope Six Demolition Project. But Matt, wasn't she guilty?
So what she's done is she's gone to Ward 7 in Washington DC. She's tailed along with a reporter who's a local, and been taken around all the major sites in the poorest district, essentially, of America, which is scheduled to be refurbished with the
Hope Six Demolition Project. Yeah, so she got into trouble from both like politicians and residents from Ward 7 in Washington DC, who basically thought that she was kind of, the first track on the record is called Community of Hope, and it's just got all these lyrics where she's just like, where she basically calls it like a shithole, and like this.
The people are zombies.
Yeah. And she's quoting the tour guide, I think, with those lyrics.
She's paraphrasing.
She's paraphrasing the tour guide. But people were upset that she was basically painting it as this kind of like, meth-addled kind of like fuck storm of like a, just dirty, horrible place filled with drug addicts. Do you know what I mean? And then calls the song The Community of Hope.
Yeah, the irony.
People were like, fuck off, you tourist.
I just kind of felt like, what are you doing, PJ? Are you kind of like putting yourself, I just felt it was quite arrogant for her to sort of portray herself almost as the voice of this plight.
I can't imagine that would ever have been her intention, to portray herself
No.
As such. Do you know what I mean? And she has kind of written this record. She's been going around with this journalist to these rundown areas. And I think that she is, she's coming in from this like very bohemian sort of, I'm going in there and I'm basically just putting like the sort of poverty on display. And I can understand why people like consider that to be grief porn or whatever, or like people go, oh, what are you even saying about this other than just like expressing that these places are like run down with like a vague sense of like, fuck the man. Do you know what I mean? I think what PJ does really great on this record, and specifically the record before it, is that the lyrics come off as these kind of very vague things, but they're really brought into their own through the music, which does kind of uses these kind of old marching band format, sort of like colonial style music, but with a bit of a like kind of PJ Harvey out rock stint, which is, to her credit, a distinctly unique sound, which she very much
her 21st century sound.
Totally, and she created that sound on Let England Shake, and there is no one that's done anything similar, and she is kind of doing it again here. So before you even start, it is like a uniquely PJ Harvey record, which is very much working in its favour. But the truth of the matter is that it's not a particularly different record than Let England Shake. And really the only difference in some ways is that she's not of the country that she is kind of writing the record of.
And the fact that she's sort of tied it to these places that she's visited very briefly, I feel just takes a lot of the weight out of it. Whereas with Let England Shake, I felt like, this seems like a far more personal record.
I feel like you're seeking a kind of like grand political statement out of it though. Whereas to me, it just felt kind of more like lightly observational.
Yeah, which I find quite boring.
I'm sure heaps of cunts are going to feel plenty engaged by light
Certainly not
themes
the
of
people
poverty.
of Ward 7.
Certainly not the people of Ward 7.
Or Afghanistan.
But as if the
or
fucking
Kosovo.
people of Ward 7 or Afghanistan or Kosovo were going to buy this record in the first place.
Let's review this record.
Let's review this record. Yeah, look, I don't think it's a particularly interesting or exciting political record, but it's a pleasantly political record with that great PJ Harvey sound. And so, despite I think it being a lesser PJ Harvey record, I'm still going to give it a strong 4 Zacs, because it does sound good, if not great.
Zac.
I'm a big PJ Harvey fan, but I found this record to be a little bit of a letdown, a little bit histrionic, a little bit too melodramatic for me. I give that 3 Zacs.
Zac.